Welcome to the Register of Deeds office. I'm Julie Risty, your Minnehaha County Register of Deeds. I'd like to take you on a short tour and share some of the history and important information about our office. Back in 1859, government land surveyors came to this area of the country prepared to brave the elements and many other dangers in order to survey the land so that settlement could begin. As they worked to survey the land, they maintained detailed logs, which comprised their field and survey notes, so that the section line boundaries and specific markers placed at the corner of each section could always be found, whether they placed charred stakes, granite stones, iron pins, etc. Once the markers were set, establishing official boundary lines, they could never be moved. These important field and survey notes are permanent records held in the Register of Deeds office, along with many other important land records, and are still used today by surveyors, title abstractors, attorneys, and many other land record professionals. On March 2, 1861, as one of his last acts as President of the United States, James Buchanan signed the Organic Act, which allowed the people of Dakota Territory to establish a government. Minnehaha County was established in April, but abandoned in August of 1862. It was then reorganized on January 4, 1868, by the territorial legislature, who appointed John Nelson, John Thompson, and William Melvin as the county commissioners, and Edward Broughton as Register of Deeds. Fort Dakota officially opened the area for settlement on November 9, 1870. There have been many registers of deeds over the years, but one of the most notable was Nye Phillips, a captain in the Civil War, who following the war served as the Minnehaha County Register of Deeds for approximately 12 years, from 1872 to 1876, and again from 1884 to 1892. The first known meeting of the Minnehaha County Board of Commissioners was held on the second floor of the W.S. Bloom store on February 13, 1871. The building was later occupied by Lux Market and was located on the corner of 8th and Main, where the public library is now. The Register of Deeds office has always played an important role in the establishment and settlement of counties, since title to property had to be recorded so that ownership could be proven, taxes assessed, and revenues generated. Original land patents, such as this federal land patent issued by President Abraham Lincoln on July 1, 1864, granted any interest the federal government had in the land to settlers. The section land or farmland could then be platted into tracts, additions, blocks, and lots for development purposes. The Register of Deeds used an ingenious recording system, which is still used today, whereby documents could be recorded specifically to the legal description of the property they affected in order to create a clear, indisputable, and ongoing chain of title that could endure. This is a photo of the Register of Deeds office in 1910, when it was located in the Minnehaha County Courthouse, now the Old Courthouse Museum, when W.E. Woodward was the Register of Deeds. And this subsequent photo was taken on April 16, 1935, at the time when J.R. Scriven, who was a former Deputy Register of Deeds, served then as the Register of Deeds. We have come a long way in 160 years. Although we still actively use even the oldest records, our office now integrates technology in new and important ways to work in conjunction with the records that we still use and maintain perpetually. As the official records office of the county, we must maintain a high level of security concerning our indexing system and the records we maintain. The Register of Deeds not only records important ownership and mortgage documents, but also a wide variety of miscellaneous instruments, such as contracts and agreements, easements, powers of attorney and ratifications, affidavits, final decrees, judgments or court orders, resolutions of governing bodies of municipalities, street vacations and right-of-way documents, and other types too numerous to mention. State laws govern many aspects of the Register of Deeds office, as well as the specific requirements for the many documents that are recorded. Because of the many specifics required to be met in documents, those instruments are considered authentic records once they are recorded in our office, and they may then be used in a court of law. South Dakota is known as a race and notice state, meaning that the order in which documents are recorded may help establish priority, and that in certain instances, notice requirements may be met through recording in the Register of Deeds office. Many of our records are public and are relied upon extensively by various businesses, such as financial institutions, land surveyors, engineers, attorneys, developers, and title abstractors. We work closely with the South Dakota Secretary of State's office in the filing of personal property financing statements, and we record a variety of liens, from mortgages to county aid liens to state and federal tax liens, which also require us to work with the South Dakota Department of Revenue, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the IRS. The South Dakota Department of Transportation and city engineers are also frequent users of our records in order for highway and development projects to be able to proceed. In addition to recording documents, the Register of Deeds serves the public in many other ways as well. We issue vital records that are needed to prove a person's birth, death, or marriage, and we are the only office authorized to issue a marriage license. In this regard, we work closely with the South Dakota Department of Health and Vital Records, as well as with funeral homes concerning death certificates and burial permits. The Register of Deeds office has maintained the same full-time staff level for over 20 years, while Minnehaha County has experienced a steady growth rate, and we now serve a county with a population of over 185,000 citizens. We continue to see a significant number of people arriving from countries around the world. As public servants, meeting the needs of our citizens is a great priority. The Sioux Falls School District now teaches to students speaking 91 different languages. These are the same families that we also work with as they obtain marriage licenses and other vital records and become property owners and members of our communities. Language barriers and other cultural customs can be challenging. However, as county employees, we continue to work through those difficulties to try to help those who need our assistance. And now, I'd like you to meet a few of the people from our office and also hear from a few of the business people that we work with on a daily basis.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm the Assistant Register of Deeds. I've been here for 41 years, and I'm primarily responsible for overseeing the office in the absence of the Register of Deeds, and I am in charge of the accounting department. Whenever documents are recorded in our office, they must have a recording or filing fee, and if an ownership document is recorded, a transfer fee must be also paid. The Register of Deeds is one of the few offices in the county which takes in revenue. The primary fees we receive are recording fees, transfer fees, vital record fees, copy fees, and express fees for credit cards transactions. Last year, our office received approximately $2.6 million in revenues. I love my job and enjoy working with this great group of people.
All right, hi, I'm Jim Cordell. I'm a land surveyor in the state of South Dakota, employed with Sayre Associates in town here. I provide plats and replats and easement exhibits and that type of stuff for lawyers, the general public, City of Sioux Falls, land developers. And when I come to the courthouse, I'm usually charged with looking for recorded plats, any easements, public records that would burden a subject property that I'm potentially working on. This is very accessible. Some of the documents I would look for are like a vacation of an alleyway or a road, or a termination of an easement, public easement, or that type of thing. Recorded plats, any exhibit, easement exhibits, deeds, ownership documents. And the Register of Deeds is very helpful. Everybody in this office is very friendly and more than willing to help us.
Well, I'm Sue, and I have been at the Register of Deeds office for a little over 42 years. I've been doing this position for 36 years, and it is titled Real Estate Specialist. And my specific job is checking the real estate when it comes in from title companies, banks, lawyers, over the counter, reviewing them, making sure that they are meeting formatting requirements, that they have all the information that's required and needed to be recorded, and to then get that recorded in a timely manner. A couple of examples today is I've got a mortgage here where the notary acknowledgement has bled through the legal description. Needs to go back, unfortunately. Got another one where the certificate of real estate value is missing some information. I've got the notaries are a little messed up, and questioning kind of the legal description. So it's a matter of reviewing those documents, making sure that they're recordable, and if they aren't, then delivering them back to whoever brought them, trying to get them adjusted and recorded as quickly as possible. I enjoy working with the title companies and the attorneys and the banks. I enjoy my job and the challenge that it brings to me each and every day. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But I've enjoyed my job and the time that I have been here at the Register of Deeds office. I've seen a lot of the office evolve in many different ways, especially the real estate department, as we've always been moving forward and making things easier and quicker to find and to research. And it aids us working in the office, as well as the title companies, the surveyors, and the general public that may come in and utilize the information that we have here in the office.
Hi, I'm Robbin. I am a senior record specialist here at the Register of Deeds office. I've been here for 25 years. Currently in my position, I work closely with the Internal Revenue Service. I record and release federal tax liens. I also work with the Secretary of State, recording UCCs and releasing them. The UCC stands for Uniform Commercial Code, which is a lien on personal property. I also work with the Department of Revenue and the South Dakota Unemployment Office, recording their liens and releasing them also. I guess every day here there's something new. You never know what's going to happen. Every day is unique.
I'm Robbin Brust. I'm a South Dakota abstractor for over 20 years. I work at Getty Abstract here in town. Abstractor searches property real estate records. We also search tax records at the treasurer, state tax liens, county aid liens, and judgments through the clerk of courts. We're searching property to determine the correct owner of the property, liens and encumbrances that belong with the property. And our customers are usually lenders, attorneys, real estate agents, and owners of properties. And they're looking for information that we put together, and it can be either searches or more commonly it's title insurance written through our title company. And it's usually used for refinances, purchase transactions, can be foreclosures for attorneys, probate transactions, that type of thing is most commonly what it's used for. So of course that is why it's very important that all of the records are correct. We're very lucky in Minnehaha County. We have an excellent Register of Deeds and staff. They're very meticulous about their records. Everything is very user-friendly, so anyone of the public that comes in with some assistance from the staff, they can actually complete their own searches because the records are kept so well.
I'm Susan, and I am the Administrative Record Specialist for the office. I do a variety of duties in the office, but am specifically responsible for overseeing all vital records issues. As a result, I work closely with the South Dakota Department of Health. I'm also chiefly responsible for the processing of all vital check credit card orders, when people request birth, death, or marriage certificates by phone, since our office is one which provides these services. We often work with people who may need to have a birth or marriage record amended, perhaps because they could not speak English well or at all, and the hospital may have written incorrect information on their child's birth record. Or a couple may have had a marriage performed without a license, in which case a court order would be required to allow us to issue a license. I also work closely with funeral directors as well regarding death certificates and any issues that may arise related to the death record. Our office also records military discharge records, which are not open to the public, and I work with the Veterans Service Officer to help assist veterans and family members in filing and obtaining their military discharges. On August 6th, it will be 40 years that I have been employed by the Minnehaha County Register of Deeds office. I thoroughly enjoy my job and love what I do.
My name is Chad. I am a senior record technician here in the Register of Deeds. I do a lot of work in real estate and on the computer with our electronic recording. I formerly was a title abstractor in Iowa for about 8.5 years, so I'm fairly familiar with the recording processes. What I most enjoy about my job is probably the research that goes into the work here. I enjoy legal descriptions and looking those up and trying to find out where they came from, that sort of thing. What I do is index in our books in the afternoon, and I index on the computer in the mornings. So I kind of have the best of both worlds. I get to see how we do it and how we've progressed in our recording processes. So that's probably the most important thing going forward for our county is efficiency, accuracy, and the ease of use of our new programs.
I'm Vicki, and I've been working at the Register of Deeds office for over 17 years. I begin my day by entering deeds and sales-related documents into the computer. Now, these documents were entered into our index book on the previous day, and we do this in order to get this information up to the equalization office as well as our own office. And we need to do this on a daily basis because it's important to reflect the ownership on the various record IDs as soon as possible. All of the documents that we take in are scanned and imaged, and mortgage documents also, the same thing, and someone else in our office enters those on a daily basis into a special computer program for those mortgage documents. We average 100 to 200 documents a day that we record. And another document that will alter the legal description that we enter into our computer system is plats. Now, plats can come out of section land like this one, and they can be quite complex because as our county grows, we are having a process of trying to find the exact legal description. A plat like this will not have an owner on it or an address, so we strictly have to look at these up by legal descriptions, as well as a lot of our documents. Some of our legal descriptions can be quite complex. This document reflects legal descriptions that had to be taken back to whoever prepared them in order to do a correction on them in order for us to actually prepare the document. And we constantly work together in our office throughout all phases of the recording process in order to make sure that we're recording documents accurately. We often double check with each other throughout the office throughout the day to make sure these documents are correct. It takes a team to do what we're doing in our office. This is a great office to be a part of.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I am a records technician here at the Register of Deeds office. I came from a diverse background. It's funny, I actually was working at a title company years ago and came down to the Register of Deeds, so I know a lot of the people that work here. Legal descriptions can be pretty complex, some of them, if you're in the, especially in unplatted lands and you've got footage and you've got easements going here, easements going there, there's railroads, there's rivers, lakes. things like that too that you kind of have to look at. And when you're searching, you have to take in consideration of all those things. I love serving the public. I don't know what it is, but I'm kind of a people person, and when I wait on people and help them, I feel good.
My name is Richard Moe. I'm an attorney here in Sioux Falls. I practice with the May Johnson firm and have for many years. My practice is primarily in the area of real estate, trusts, estate, and business transactions. In those transactions, it's frequently necessary to confirm questions about real estate. And so I make use of the Office of the Register of Deeds on a fairly frequent basis. Many times I request information by phone and receive the information electronically, but I also visit the office here on a somewhat regular basis. This office is the only authoritative source for information about legal titles, legal descriptions, and liens on real estate. And as real estate practice over the years has become substantially more complicated, those pieces of information have become more and more crucial. Through the years, I've had occasion to work in the Register of Deeds office in a number of counties, and it's my judgment that the Minnehaha County office is the model of efficiency, accuracy, and accessibility. Frankly, some other counties are difficult to work with, maybe almost secretive. Just the opposite of what I find here. The staff is consistently helpful, ready and willing to assist both me and other members of the public that I've seen when I'm down here. It's a pleasure to work with them, and they make my practice a lot easier.
Thank you for joining us today so that we could share a little of who we are and what we do. We're pleased to be able to play an important role in the endeavors and the development of this county and to be of service to our citizens. We're the Register of Deeds office, here to serve you.